The history of Libya, from ancient empires to modern statehood. Libya, a North African country bordered by the Mediterranean Sea, Egypt, Sudan, and other neighboring nations, has a rich and diverse history that spans thousands of years. Known for its ancient cities, vast deserts, and complex political evolution, Libya's story is marked by a series of empires, colonial powers, and modern-day transformations. From ancient Phoenician and Roman settlements to modern-day struggles for governance and stability, Libya's history is both vibrant and turbulent. Ancient Libya, Berber origins, and early empires. The earliest inhabitants of Libya were the Berbers, an indigenous people who have lived in North Africa for millennia. Their legacy can still be seen in Libya's culture, language, and traditions. Early Libyan society was tribal, with clans and groups forming the basis of social organization. The Berber people developed their own languages, spiritual beliefs, and art, which include the unique rock carvings and paintings found in Libya's deserts. Libya's geographic position made it a natural bridge between ancient Egypt, the Mediterranean, and sub-Saharan Africa. As a result, early Libyan societies interacted with surrounding regions and participated in trade networks. By around 1000 BC, the Phoenicians began establishing trade posts along the Libyan coast, eventually leading to the establishment of the city of Carthage in modern-day Tunisia. Carthage became a powerful Mediterranean empire, influencing Libya's western coastal areas. Roman and Byzantine influence. After the fall of Carthage and the Punic Wars to 646 BC, Rome took control of Libya. The coastal cities of Tripolitania, including Tripoli, Sabratha, and Leptis Magna, flourished under Roman rule. The city of Leptis Magna, in particular, became one of the most important cities in the Roman Empire and a prominent trade and cultural center. Romans built impressive infrastructure in Libya, including roads, aqueducts, and grand buildings that remain to this day as ruins. During the Byzantine Empire, after the division of the Roman Empire, Libya remained under Byzantine control. The Byzantine period saw the spread of Christianity in Libya, with churches and religious institutions established along the coast. However, the interior of Libya remained largely independent, and the Berber tribes in the Sahara and Cyrenaica regions continued to resist foreign control. The Arab conquest and the spread of Islam. In the 7th century, Arab Muslim armies, driven by the spread of Islam, advanced into North Africa. Libya was conquered by the Umayyad Caliphate, and Islam quickly spread throughout the region. Arabic became the dominant language, and Islamic culture, governance, and legal systems replaced much of the previous Byzantine influence. Over time, Libya became a prominent part of the Arab Islamic world. The Arab conquest led to the integration of Libya into the Islamic caliphates that followed, including the Abbasid Caliphate. Libya's strategic location allowed it to serve as a crossroads for trade and culture between the Islamic world and Europe. During this period, the Berber tribes gradually adopted Islam, though they maintained distinct cultural and linguistic traditions. Ottoman rule and Tripolitanian piracy. By the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire extended its rule over Libya. The Ottomans governed Libya as 3 provinces: Tripolitania, Cyrenaica, and Fezzan. Ottoman rule in Libya was largely indirect, with local rulers and tribes exercising significant autonomy, particularly in the desert regions. Coastal cities like Tripoli became hubs of Mediterranean trade, but they were also notorious for piracy. Libya's coast, particularly Tripoli, gained a reputation for piracy, and the region became known as the Tripolitanian coast. The Barbary pirates, operating out of Tripoli, raided European merchant ships, leading to numerous conflicts with European powers. This period gave rise to the First Barbary War 1801–1805 and Second Barbary War 1815, involving the United States and European nations seeking to end piracy in the Mediterranean. By the 19th century, Ottoman influence in Libya waned, and local leaders, especially those from the Sanyusi order in Cyrenaica, gained prominence. The Sanyusi order, a religious and political movement, aimed to strengthen Islam in the region and played a significant role in uniting tribes across Cyrenaica and the Sahara. Italian colonization. In 1911, Italy invaded Libya, seizing control from the Ottoman Empire. The Italians declared Libya a colony and sought to establish control over the region, but they faced strong resistance from the local population, particularly from the Sanyusi order in Cyrenaica. The Italian colonization of Libya was brutal, with numerous uprisings and a harsh counterinsurgency campaign against the Libyan people. One of the most prominent figures in Libyan resistance was Omar Mukhtar, a Sanyusi leader who led guerrilla warfare against Italian forces for nearly 2 decades. Despite his capture and execution in 1931, Mukhtar became a national hero and symbol of resistance against colonial oppression. Under Italian rule, Libya underwent significant changes. Italians promoted settlement by Italian farmers and attempted to modernize Libya's infrastructure. However, these efforts were marred by the violent suppression of the Libyan people and the forced relocation of Libyan communities. During World War II, Libya became a battleground as Axis and Allied forces clashed in North Africa. Post-war independence and the Kingdom of Libya. After World War II, Libya fell under British and French administration. With the support of the United Nations, Libya gained independence in 1951, becoming the Kingdom of Libya under King Idris I. Libya was one of the first African nations to achieve independence in the post-war period. As a kingdom, Libya remained a largely traditional society with limited infrastructure and economic resources. However, the discovery of oil in 1959 transformed Libya's economy and greatly increased its political significance. Oil exports generated significant revenue, leading to modernization efforts and urban development. Despite the wealth generated by oil, dissatisfaction with the monarchy grew due to widespread poverty, corruption, and unequal distribution of resources. In 1969, a group of young military officers led by Muammar Gaddafi overthrew King Idris in a coup, establishing the Libyan Arab Republic. Gaddafi's rule, revolutionary state, and global influence. Gaddafi's regime was characterized by his unique political ideology, outlined in his Green Book, which promoted a form of direct democracy and socialism. Gaddafi rebranded Libya as the Great Socialist People's Libyan Arab Jamahiriya and nationalized the oil industry, using oil revenues to fund social programs, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Gaddafi also pursued an ambitious foreign policy, positioning himself as a leader of the Pan-Arab and Pan-African movements. He provided financial and military support to various liberation movements and allied himself with controversial global figures. However, Gaddafi's policies led to strained relations with Western nations, particularly the United States, which accused Libya of supporting terrorism. Tensions culminated in international sanctions and isolated Libya from much of the global community. Despite Gaddafi's initial popularity, his authoritarian rule and suppression of dissent created widespread discontent. Political opposition was often met with imprisonment, torture, and even execution. The Arab Spring and Civil War. In 2011, the Arab Spring movement, which swept across the Middle East and North Africa, reached Libya. Protests against Gaddafi's government began, calling for democratic reforms and an end to Gaddafi's rule. The regime responded with a violent crackdown, leading to a civil war between government forces and rebel groups. The UN Security Council imposed a no-fly zone over Libya, and NATO forces launched an intervention to protect civilians and support the rebels. In October 2011, Gaddafi was captured and killed by rebel forces, marking the end of his 42-year rule. Post-Gaddafi Libya, ongoing conflict and fragmentation. Since Gaddafi's fall, Libya has faced significant challenges in establishing a stable government. Rival factions, tribal militias, and extremist groups have vied for control of different regions. Two primary rival governments emerged: the Government of National Accord GNE in Tripoli, recognized by the UN, and the Libyan National Army LNA led by General Khalifa Haftar, based in the eastern city of Benghazi. The continued conflict has had a devastating impact on Libya, leading to economic collapse, humanitarian crises, and widespread displacement. International efforts to mediate peace have had limited success, as foreign powers have backed different factions, further complicating the situation. Conclusion. Libya's history is a story of resilience, adaptation, and struggle for sovereignty in the face of foreign influence and internal challenges. From ancient civilizations to modern conflicts, Libya's journey reflects both the region's deep-rooted cultural heritage and its ongoing search for peace and unity. As Libya continues to navigate its complex political landscape, the hopes of its people for stability and prosperity remain at the forefront of its future.